It's been 6 years of podcasting, and without our sponsors, we wouldn't be able to bring these podcasts to you. So I want to thank today's sponsors. And first off, we have the Pretentious Pickle Company of 190 Water Street in Plymouth. If you haven't had a chance to get down there, go down and check out what they make. They have everything pickled you can imagine, from pickled beets to carrots to mushrooms to onions to Brussels sprouts and cauliflower. They even have pickled or pickled flavor cotton candy, I should say. They make it fresh there every day, and you can go in there and check out what they have to offer. And if you're not in the Plymouth area, you can go to pretentiouspickle.com and check out what they have to offer there as well, and they will ship it out to you. Their stuff is delicious. You should check it out, and they are big fans of ours, and we are big fans of theirs. So thank you to the Pretentious Pickle Company for sponsoring today's episode. And our second sponsor today is Moonrise Cinemas. Moonrise Cinemas is a new drive-in in Plymouth, right on the Plymouth-Kingston line. They are located at 428 Court Street in Plymouth, Mass. And they offer a great selection of movies. You can go. It's very family-friendly. I went and checked out the Goonies there. They've had Marvel movies, a wide variety of stuff. And they're really starting to expand. They have had the Rocky Horror Picture Show this coming year. They're doing music on Thursday nights. On Wednesdays are going to be 420 friendly events. So make sure you check out what they have to offer. MoonriseCinemas.com. It's a great venue. They have a beer garden. They have their own food. Their food's phenomenal. And they're bringing back their French toast, which I'm very excited about. So make sure you check out what they have to offer, MoonriseCinemas.com. And if you use code Inebri-art when purchasing tickets, you'll get 10% off. So make sure you go to MoonriseCinemas.com to get your tickets for movies, concerts, and more. And use code Inebri-art for 10% off on your purchase. And now let's jump right into the podcast. Welcome back, Inebri-art. This is Andy of your Inebri-art podcast, as always. I'm joined today by a musician. I feel like we haven't had a musician in a little while, although that could be my imagination. Danielle Ryan, welcome to the show.
Hey, how's it going?
Not too bad. So it's so weird because when I was a kid, like, there were classifications of music, and there was like 4, and everyone fit into those 4. I would feel like to describe yours would be singer-songwriter, because that seems to be a description now, which I find weird as a descriptor for music, because most musicians are songwriters of some kind.
Yeah.
Is that kind of what you always shot for, or were you interested in other types of music? Like, how did you end up here?
I think, when I was young, I wanted to be Taylor Swift. That was the biggest thing for me. That was my goal, kind of thing.
Okay.
I was like 12 years old, and I was like, she writes songs and plays guitar and stuff, and I think I could do that. That looks like fun. So I kind of just picked up a guitar, started writing, and just kind of went from there. And I grew up on a dairy farm my whole life, and so country kind of just fit that mold, and I like the idea of storytelling too. So it all kind of just fell into place like that. I don't think I ever really thought too much into it. And even now still, like, just the way I write a song, I just hear how I want the song to sound, and it's usually country. Sometimes it's pop and whatever, but for the most part, like, I love the songwriting aspect of it and stuff. Yeah.
When you're writing songs, you described it as storytelling. Do you find there's a specific type of story that you like to tell in your songs?
I think the story can always be different. There's definitely a lot of songs I write that, the story is very stupid, you could say. But
why
for the
so?
most part, Like I have a song called Stupid Shit, and it's just
Oh,
like
okay.
a dumb
Yeah.
song, like about whatever. But my
Wow.
video.
Oh, you did freeze. I can still hear you though.
Okay, well that's good. Um my let me just switch. I think it's my camera died. We're gonna switch to poor quality. Here we go.
Sure, sure.
Here it comes.
Oh, that's
Hi.
fine.
We'll do my webcam. Yeah, that's fine. The
Oh, stupid shit.
songs that I
Yeah.
write. Yeah, I don't know. I just kind of write about whatever I'm feeling about. So the stories can be really anything, and I feel like they change constantly too. Like, yeah, my favorite songs always turn out to be the ones though that are like telling a story from start to finish. Those ones always seem to be just ones that I personally love.
Do you find you have to be like in a specific mood to kind of write your music? Like, for instance, I've talked to some people where they use whatever their art form to kind of deal with tough moments in life. So it's almost like as things get better, they get less productive. Like, is there, or is it reversed for you?
Yeah, I mean, when I first started out, it was fun. It was all for fun, and it was all, oh, I am inspired to write this song, or this guy did this thing, and oh, that'd be
Mhm.
a good song. And I thought of this idea on the school bus type deal. And now that I've chosen it kind of as a career, now it's kind of turned into the idea of like, well, I should write a song if I want to have a good, if I want to have a song, I should sit down and write a song. And especially with the way that the industry is, now you have to be a social media, guru, and you have
Mhm.
to have, YouTube videos and Instagram and TikTok, and, work on your craft, work on your songwriting, your guitar playing, your piano. Like the list goes on and on and on. You have to look right. Like there's all these things that now add up into being like an artist. So songwriting has to be something that I have to schedule into my day, because if I'm not scheduling it into my day, like, you know, I'm looking for something that I need to be inspired by, and that's not going to happen all the time. So it's just become a different way of songwriting, basically, is what I would say.
Yeah, it's funny. I feel like every professional artist has to, or creative person of any kind has to come through that realization where you started doing because you love it and you still do love it, but you have to make it your job. Like you have to
Yeah.
work at it. And
Yeah.
how do you kind of keep it from feeling like work and still
I'll
love
be
it?
honest. It's not like something that I've mastered. Like I'm not going to sit here and act like I have it all together or whatever, but I I definitely have, even more now, so I would say, a big struggle of sitting down and writing songs, especially when you're releasing music,
Mm-hmm.
because I have this thing in my head that's like, while you're writing, as you're writing now for the masses in a way. So you're trying to not have that, but then it's also in your head as well while you write. So I find that to be something so difficult that I'm struggling with right now, of just trying to just sit down, write a song, and just have it be good and have it be how I want it to be, because there's so many other voices and so many more opinions and stuff now after I've released music, of, labels looking for a single or whatever it might be. So it's now a thing of just trying to trying to just even write something that I
Yeah.
can be proud of. Yeah.
It's fascinating, and like I'm not gonna pretend that I have any kind of clout at all, but you always see these stories about celebrities being jerks or short tempered, and you kind of get even your foot in the door at all, and you realize, been like, maybe they were just having a bad day. Like I've had bad days, and
Yeah.
and you don't necessarily want to, I'm very happy today, so don't take it. But like, there's days where I've recorded the podcast where I have to be like, okay, game face, like let's put this
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
So like I can't imagine when you're in a spotlight like that. I mean, have you experienced that kind of like recognition where you're like, ugh, not today. I just want to do my grocery shopping, or like, have you gotten to that point?
No, I'm
No.
not I'm not at that point just yet. I definitely appreciate anyone who has anything to say nice, I guess,
As long as they're
towards
nice,
me
yeah,
and what I do.
yeah.
Yeah, as long as they're nice. But there have been times I worked as a server like basically my whole adult life. So there have been times when I've been like serving and
Mhm.
somebody knows who I am and they're like, "Oh, like I heard your song on the radio. I know who you are. I follow you on Instagram, blah blah blah." And I'm like, awesome. I'm so sorry all your food was cold and this and that and that. I'm like, get me out of here.
It's the back
That's
of
when I
house.
don't
It's
like
not
it.
my fault. Yeah.
Yeah, that's when I don't like it. When I'm like, I will get this remade for you. Thank you so much.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I I can relate some. I work with a lot of people in the restaurant industry, so
Yeah.
it's
It's
a
a
whole
thing.
lifestyle. Yeah. But
It's
it
a
does
thing.
kind of attract creative types. I know lots of musicians that work in it, and um, because it gives them some flexibility to,
Oh yeah.
to make money when they're not making money on the road or whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
No, it's definitely the easiest thing to do. And it's like so flexible too.
yeah.
I need today off so I can go play a show and it's no problem, right? So that's why I've kind of always kept it.
Have you been doing any kind of touring at all right now? And I don't know what it's like where you are with COVID restrictions and whatnot.
we're
It's
in we're in BC, so like we're still shut down. Our province isn't moving anything just yet really. So no tour dates for now, but hopefully
it's
something.
yeah, it's so
Yeah.
weird because it's so all over the road. I've talked with people who have full tours planned. I've talked with others who are like, oh, I guess I'm just gonna have to tour like the southern states and because they don't care.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's been rough. Did you find it was a blessing where like you had more time on your hands to write and record music, or were you kind of like myself being
Um
a visual artist? I had, especially in early COVID, I just lost all interest in creating anything, and I just binged watched things.
I think I did the same thing. Yeah, I think I found it really difficult, honestly, because I had just actually signed my record deal and I was actually set to go start recording my EP literally the day everything locked down in Canada.
Oh
So
wow.
for me, it was so for me it was more of a bust in my eyes. I was like everything I worked for, it's finally here. And then it was like, no, never mind. And it seems to happen with a lot of things that I do, and I think it's just God playing these little tricks on me. But uh, yeah, I mean, it's hard. I mean, it's still going on, so it's
Yeah.
hard. It's hard to navigate through, and it's hard to try and stay positive. But I think it's all that I can do, and I think there's a reason everything happens. So just trusting in that, and
Did it
that's my
completely
answer.
derail your EP? Like, did you kind of lose that contract, or did it just kind of postpone things?
No, 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 no. Everything just kind of got postponed. I mean, I don't think anyone really knew how to navigate in that whole, in the industry at that time. So it all just kind of got postponed. I got to do it later in the fall, and the EP's coming out, I think, next month, actually, on the 22nd. So we're finally there, but, that's been 2 years in the process and 10 years of writing. So it's nice to finally have it all going, and we're kind of figuring out like that, this might not ever go away, or it might not go away for a while. So just learning how to do things through that has now kind of become the new normal. And I think social media has become just like a huge light source of how to get your music out there and do things too.
Yeah, we were last. Actually, I think it was this time last year. Around here, musicians still weren't able to play out, so we were live streaming music. Kind of the local musicians and putting up
Oh,
like
that's
their
cool.
Venmo so people could like donate to them. Have
Yeah.
you done like the whole live stream thing, or are you?
I've never done the live stream thing. I usually do just, posting stuff. I think I've done some live stream things through other like companies and stuff. I've
Mhm.
done like events that other people host, but I've never like personally live streamed. I personally don't usually tune into people's live streams. So I always think if I don't really care to watch it, why would I do it? And I personally, I think, I think there's good things that come out of live streaming, and I think it works really well for a lot of artists. But I also think we're at this state right now, like especially with TikTok, that everyone has just this short term attention span of just like, give me what I want now, and then like that's it, I'm done with that type deal. And that's just, I like that vibe too. I'm very like ADD in that way, so I like to just, here it is, instead of being like, okay, we're just gonna wait for some people to get on here, we're just gonna chill. Yeah, it's just never been my thing, but I think it works really well for other people, which is
yeah
cool.
It was an interesting experience because it was technically, you want to put forward the best music you can, and live streaming is not the best way to put your music out there because a little hiccup, like your camera freezes.
Yeah.
Or,
yeah, there's always something.
But it kind of, it gives you a different experience from watching, because you get to kind of like interact with the performer as they're playing.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a cool thing.
I should try it, I guess. I can't not try it. I've never technically done it. So
So your EP's coming out next month. You're not sure if you're going to be able to tour.
Yeah.
Does that mean you're going to be working on more videos? Because you have quite a YouTube channel going on there.
Oh, I guess maybe. I feel like I've been so inactive on that thing, but we released a music video, which is really cool. I don't know what the plan is for the EP, honestly. I don't even think I'm supposed to say that it's coming out yet.
Oh, okay.
Like I just
make sure that gets edited out. This won't go for a while. So. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it. I'm really not. I'm not like famous. It's not like there's people that are like, when's Danielle Ryan's thing coming out? No one cares. So, yeah, I don't know what the idea is behind it or what we're gonna do. I'd love to do some type of little thing, around the nation, but I don't know if it's even possible. So I always like shoot for the stars. I want to meet people. I want to go out. I want to connect with people. Like that's what I love to do. I love people. I'm a really big people person, and that's been kind of a struggle of the last couple of years, is not having that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's something I'd love to do, and hopefully something I can do in this coming year here.
So when you perform, do you like to perform smaller rooms because you can connect with the audience easier, or do you have a preference?
I mean, I can't really, I'm not in a spot where like, there's been a couple of shows I've actually played recently where people know my songs and they know the words and stuff. And that's so cool. And it's so cool to see that looking out in the audience and people that know you and care. But for the most part, the shows that I've played in the past are always, you're just playing for whoever's at the beer garden or whoever's mm-hmm. hanging out or whatever. So I don't know that I can even give an answer to like playing stadium. I've never played big, huge shows, so I don't think I can even answer the question. I just like to play. I just love to perform. I love a good audience. I love people that are there for a good time, really.
That is so where I am, there's about, I don't know, 40 bars and restaurants within a mile strip of 2 streets.
Yeah.
And they have music. Most places have music 2 or 3 nights a week. And, musician friends are always kind of, they have the ones who can really engage your room. But then there's that, like you kind of said, there's people there where you're playing in the beer garden and they're there for the beer.
Yeah, and you're just there.
Yeah, and how do you stay engaged in that? Like if you're not getting that kind of feedback from the audience.
I think it's a lot of learning lessons. It really is. There's a lot of shows. There's one show I played, and my brother was there. He was the only person I knew that was there. He traveled with me to the gig, and no one was clapping when I'd finished the song, and that's the most painful thing, because the song ends and you're like, all right, this next one,
Did anyone even
Shania
notice?
Twain.
Yeah.
And you're like awkwardly like tune, like no one clapped, and then you're like tuning up your guitar, and you're just like sitting there. You're like, okay, here we go. And it's just like it's just a strange environment. And you try and engage with people. That's the biggest thing is like, if I see anyone like look at me, I'll like look at them and be like, yeah, like here we go. And like try and get them engaged. But it's really hard. You know, there's sometimes when you're just like, this is just going to be what this is. This is just how we're going to go with it. But
Yeah.
I mean, the positive thing is there's always someone at the end that will like be like, that was great. So like there are people paying attention and stuff, which is nice, but yeah, it can be painful.
My favorite is the kind of the building applause, like, you know, friends might be playing whatever, and, you know, whether I'm there intentionally or to see them or just happen to be there, you know, they stop playing the song, and like, you know, one or two people like will start clapping, and then other people like, oh right, the song's over, and you know,
Right.
kind of like builds through you know.
No, that never happened. I lectured my brother and I was like, listen,
when the song ends, you clap.
Just start it. Just start it and it'll go. Please. It hurts.
Yeah. So in those gigs, do you play just your original stuff, or do you play like covers? Because I feel like covers tend to kind of get attention more.
Yeah, it's usually a mix of both, because I usually do about 50-50, sometimes a bit more of my songs, depending what the venue is, what they're asking for. But for the most part, I like to do covers, because I just know from the shows I go to, when I go watch somebody that I don't know who they are or what they do, I like to hear songs that, you know, I know, like, mm-hmm. Right? I mean, it's nice to hear both, but it is nice I feel like it holds people's engagement more, especially when you're playing for a crowd that's just there to drink, and, you know, they're not there to discover new music. It's not like they're there on purpose in a way. Yeah.
It reminds me, and this goes years, I can't remember who said this to me one time, and we were talking about it was some like small local soda company, and he's like, and they had a bunch of weird flavors. He's like, no, try the root beer. I'm like, why? And I'm like, don't you want to try? He's like, no, because you know what root beer should taste like. He's like, so you know if they did a good job. So it's like one of those, like, if you like that song that they know, that's gonna like kind of trigger that, like, hey, I know this song, I know what it's supposed to sound like. Now I'm paying attention.
Yeah, exactly. So always going to the covers.
Is there like a dreaded cover up in Canada? Like down here, it's Wagon Wheel, where for some reason everybody wants to play or wants to hear it, but nobody really wants to hear it at the same time.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, Wagon Wheel sounds accurate, I guess. I
just wasn't sure if it was a regional thing.
No, I don't know. Wagon Wheel is not like a super, I don't know that I hear people actually sing it that much, but I would say like, I don't even know. Maybe like, I would say more like classics, like Don't Play, Don't Stop Believing, please. Like, I think that's like the big one. Like, I'll sing that one. Other than that, I don't know. I'll probably think of something later and be like, oh, that one's I heard.
A friend of mine, Jeff Rosen, will always play and take requests, and someone inevitably shouts out Nickelback, and he goes, I'll play it and you're going to sing it because you don't realize how much you like Nickelback. And every time he does, the bar ends up singing with him. And it's like, I think it's just like cool to shit on them. I think people actually enjoy it. I
don't get it. Yeah. It was before my time, technically. Like, I was too young, I think, to even like be on the I hate Nickelback bandwagon. But also, the guy that owns my label is Nickelback, so I can't.
He's what? You say he's in Nickelback?
Yeah.
Oh my! I'm not sitting on Nickelback. I just
yeah. So I'm
so weird.
I'm not saying anything.
Yeah, no, don't. No, I was actually pro Nickelback. Sorry.
Yeah, love them. Love them.
That's so funny. But so you mentioned playing a beer garden. Is that like a big thing up where you are? Are there like clubs, or is it mostly like the brewery type thing?
No, I mean, breweries are everywhere here. There's a brewery on every corner in this town, it feels like. And same with like wineries. They're everywhere. But No, breweries just it was some random gig I played. I went out to Toronto and played, and the like openers were at like the stadium part, and then I was just like at the a little side stage thing, which was cool. It was great. It was a fun trip, but um, you just need those claps in between to break to break that awkward silence. Yeah.
So to kind of get back to the writing of the music, when you're writing, do you kind of work from the lyrics first? Do you kind of come up with a tune on a guitar? Like how do you kind of, what's your process like?
It's funny because it's such a common question to ask people that, and I never I've never really had like a set answer because I don't think there's a set way to write a song. It's like it's the strangest thing. Like number one, it's so strange to sit down and be like, I can write a song. Because
Mm-hmm.
I've always thought it's strange. Like when I watch a movie, I'm like, how did someone write like Dana enters the room and like writes all this stuff out and writes out like what's happening and all this stuff. It doesn't make any sense to me. I've never understood how people do that. So I guess it's, kind of the same deal, but I don't think there's any set way. Um, I know like a lot of people have this idea that you need to write the course, and if the course is good, then like keep going. But I think I always usually start from like the first verse and then go from there. I think that's usually how I do it. But I think it can be different every time. I don't know. It I don't know if it's even words or melody. It can be either. And I do all my songwriting for the most part with my brother.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the time he'll just send me a voice note and then we'll just riff off that and go from there. And it's funny because we always have different ideas. Like he sent me an idea the other day. He's like, talks about it for like 5 minutes. He's like, this is going to be called the hot dog song and blah, 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 blah. And the whole time listening to this voice note, I'm like, I don't want anything to do with whatever this is. It ended up being good, but he just says the word hot dog like somewhere in the song.
Yeah.
So like it's not even that. But yeah, so just kind of took his concept there and then I like he has all these blanks and stuff and I'm filling them all in and whatever. He's like, no, I didn't think the song to be like that at all. I was like, oh, weird. That's the only way I saw the song being is like this way. So it's so funny, like how co-writing works, even of how to even take ideas into different places, and people have just different viewpoints on things. And yeah, that's a whole other concept too, right? So
I mean, that's my favorite part of working like collaboratively, where someone will be like, "Oh, what about this?" And they'll be like, "Oh, I didn't see it that I never would have thought
yeah,
of that," or
yeah,
I think it really makes for a far more interesting product of whatever kind it is because it brings in ideas that you would never have, and then you can add to them, and it's way
yeah.
more fun, I think.
Oh yeah, it's super nice, especially when I'm doing it with my brother. I'm so comfortable to just, you know, say I hate that idea, and he can do the same with me. It's
I
so
hate
nice,
that
like
idea.
with
You're
your,
stupid.
yeah, to an extent, sure.
Yeah.
But I've done those trips to Nashville where you're like in a room and you're like, I need out of here. I can't do this. Like, I don't like any of these ideas, or like I've written with people that are like 80 years old. They're like, I remember being like, oh yeah, kind of like Old Dominion. Let's write something like that. And they're like, who's that? There's a number one. There's a
All right,
number
I'm
one
not on your side
country
anymore. I'm not on
band
your
right now.
side
Like,
anymore.
I don't
No,
know. I don't
no.
know. So
I'm on
they're yeah.
I'm on their side because it's like the number of times I put on like a radio station, they're like oldies. I'm like, oldies. This was on when I was in high school, and it just like sets me off. But
Oh my
so
gosh.
obviously your brother's musical too. Is your whole family like into music, or is that like how did?
We all grew up doing like some type of music thing. Like me and my little sister did piano, my mom, and then like my older siblings did guitar. So we all kind of had like some type of musical knowledge. That was something that our parents kind of had us all take when we were younger. But my brother, like, he would never perform a song for you. Like, he would never like sing. Like, he's not a singer.
Yeah,
Like, he's not. Like, no, he's not a singer. He's great at writing lyrics, and he's great with like melodies and stuff. He's a great songwriter. Um, yeah. So I don't know. That's the extent of the musical abilities. And even myself, oh my gosh, like I wouldn't even say I'm great now, but like I was really bad. I was really bad. It's so funny because people will say like you're so talented. It's like I don't think I'm talented. I think I worked really, really hard for a really, really long time and played a lot of really, really bad shows with really bad vocals, with really
Mhm.
bad guitar. And then just over time, you know, just kept working on it and developing and even growing. And the older you get too, the more you learn. And yeah, I think
I hate the
it's
word talent.
funny. Yeah, I've
Absolutely hate
never
it.
liked it.
Yeah.
It's hard to use a different word though, so I kind of understand that, but yeah, it's not that. It's a lot of, behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. People, I have a daughter and she's a visual artist too. And people be like, oh my God, she's so talented. And I'm like, yeah, she's very skilled.
How old is
Because
she?
she's just about to turn 18.
Oh
Um,
wow, okay, nice.
yeah. So she's getting ready to go to college. She's going to be in take graphic design.
Oh nice.
And but yeah, it's talent to me just makes people feel like, oh, you woke up one day and could do this, and you'd be like, no,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
sacrificed so much to be able to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. I think there are people that are talented. I think there are people that are just like naturally athletic or whatever, but you get to a point where you can be naturally good till you have to actually,
Yeah,
work on it more and
and
develop things more.
there's certain things that I think are genetic, like athletes. I mean, that's kind of a
Yeah.
genetic thing, but to be like, if you're playing hockey, to be a good playmaker, that's not genetic. That's
Yeah.
you learned and you
No,
practiced.
totally.
Um, so with the new album coming out, um, where everything's still, are you going to do like an album release or
We'll
like a
probably do something.
party or something? I don't.
Yeah, we'll probably do something. I'm not really sure. We actually had my song Take Me Back came out 2 weeks ago, I think. So we had a big bonfire at the farm with all of our like close friends and family and stuff. So that was really fun. So maybe something like that again, or I don't know. But it was also freezing cold. So hopefully it'll be warmer in April. It was like -1 or something like that.
Oh,
So
geez. Okay, that is
yeah.
that's Canadian cold.
-1 Canadian.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So I don't know what that is for you, but it was cold.
yeah. It'd still be cold here. So,
It's cold. Yeah.
but we get weird weather, so it'll be spring one day and then minus in the next. But
Oh yeah.
where can our listeners go to find the album when it comes out?
I think it'll be on all streaming, everything,
Yeah.
YouTube, Spotify,
Do
what
they
else is there?
do they still
Amazon,
make
Apple.
CDs? Like, is that
We're making a CD. We're making a
okay?
CD and we're also gonna make a vinyl.
I feel
The
like
vinyl is all back ordered due to COVID, but we're gonna
yeah.
make vinyl because that'd be cool.
I
Just
feel
because
like
it's
vinyl
cool.
is less surprising than someone putting out a CD
Yeah,
nowadays, which is
right?
strange because like vinyl
I need a CD
collectors.
for my grandpa though. I need one just for my grandpa.
All right, I hate this conversation.
Yeah.
I
Yes, cars don't even. My husband's car doesn't even have a CD player in it. Like they don't even promote
mine
those
doesn't either.
anymore.
Yeah, mine doesn't either.
Yeah, yeah. You have to
I
go out and buy a CD player.
My son took up saxophone a few years ago, and I wanted for Christmas I was going to get him like a bunch of CDs from bands that I liked that had saxophone in it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like kind of like making a list of stuff, and then I'm like, huh. And I text my ex-wife, I'm like, does he have a way to play a CD? And she's like, no. And I'm like, okay, I'm the jerk.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
yeah. So I guess it'll be just a cute little piece of art for people to put on the floor of their car.
Well, I'm sure
That's what it'll
your
be.
grandpa will like
Yeah.
it. That's cool. Um,
Yeah.
so where can our listeners go to find you on social media and all the promotional
Um,
addresses that they need for that sort of thing?
Hi, I'm Danielle Ryan, and you can follow me on Instagram at Danielle Ryan Music on all platforms. My Twitter is Danielle Music _, but my Twitter also is somewhat irrelevant. I haven't used Twitter in maybe, I don't know, since I was 10 years probably. Like I haven't been on there, and I made like my first tweet in maybe a year or so, and I couldn't even find the compose a tweet button. It took me a really long time because they've changed the app.
It's so funny. I was just interviewing an actress, and they said that they were on Twitter, and I'm like, really? Why? And she's like, I don't know. Like it's just a place, and all I do is like post the thing that I posted from Instagram.
Yeah, on this thing. Yeah, I posted on this thing. Check it out from this thing. Yeah. Yeah, it makes it, I don't know. And you can also apparently say as much as you want on Twitter now too. Like there's no limit.
Yeah,
remember you used to have to do like
right
number 2 and like use because you were trying to meet that word count, the letter count.
Like 180 characters or something like that.
Yeah, it was so limited.
But I mean, I'm on it just to promote stuff, and I don't know why. Like I don't know if it works, but I still do it. So it's
right.
Maybe I'll just stop. Yeah. But that's pretty much it, man. Thanks for coming on and chatting with us.
No, it's good chatting with you. Yeah. Thank you for having me.
No problem. Anytime. We hope the best of luck for your EP when it comes out. Whether we can say that date again or not.
Oh, it's fine. Yeah. Promote it. Why
22nd.
Not?
All right. Yeah. 22nd of April, because I think this will actually go up in April. So that'll make a lot of sense.
It'll be relevant. Amazing.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Cool. Feel free to let us know whenever you promote stuff, or if you come on tour, we'll get you back on.
Yeah. Thanks so much for having me on here too. I really appreciate you supporting a new artist.
Yeah, man. That's the best. All right. Thank you so much. Our listeners, we'll catch you guys again next week.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
And thanks for checking out the show today, listeners. If you enjoyed the content today, you can go over to patreon.com/Inebri-art to support the show. You can join over there for just a few dollars a month and help us provide this fun content that you just checked out. You can also email us at Inebri-art.com with your questions, complaints, and concerns, or you can find us on all social medias at Inebri-art or at Inebri-art6 on Instagram. And also don't forget to check out our other shows, Bar Talk Podcast, Old Colony Cast, Inebri-art, and all the other shows on the Inebri-art Network, which you can find at Inebri-art.com. So thanks again for listening.